To justify merging a rocket company with a money-furnace chatbot, the IPO narrative relies on a very specific vision of the future, based around the importance of moving the world's AI computing power off-planet. Musk's argument is that terrestrial data centers are hitting a wall because of land power and cooling constraints. His solution is to launch a constellation of 1 million satellites to act as orbital data centers, directly harnessing near constant solar power in the vacuum of space. At first glance, the pitch might seem to have a certain logic. It's always sunny in space, and there are no neighbors to complain about the noise. But in practice,
they launched a satellite with one H100 chip, and it had to keep shutting down because it was overheated. One chip. And Musk wants to put out 1 million more of these things up there?
the engineering hurdles are huge. Take cooling, for example. On Earth, we keep servers from overheating by blowing cold air or water over them, a process called convection. In the vacuum of space, there's no air to move heat away. The only option is to use massive radiators that eject heat as infrared radiation. We've already seen a test of this concept. A startup launched an AI satellite a few months ago that was about the size of a small refrigerator, carrying an NVIDIA H100 chip. While the chip was able to successfully train a tiny AI model on the works of Shakespeare, it couldn't run around the clock because it had to shut down frequently when it got too hot to function. The company's next version is scheduled to launch later this year, and they say that it will carry the second largest cooling radiator array in space, the only larger one being the cooling array on the International Space Station. So to run just a handful of AI chips in orbit, you need hardware that rivals the most expensive structure ever built by humanity, the International.
The cooling radiator for a handful of AI chips needs to be the second largest in space, only behind the International Space Station. Think about the absurdity of scaling that.
Space Station, and then you have to scale that up to the 1 million satellites mentioned in the SpaceX press release. To reach the gigawatt scale capacity Musk is talking about, you would need solar arrays and radiators measuring roughly 4 kilometers in length. Getting something that size, roughly the size of 40 football fields, into orbit and maintaining it would be a logistical nightmare. It would be a giant, fragile sail, vulnerable to every piece of space debris in low Earth orbit. Then there's the issue of Starship. The entire sentient sun business model relies on SpaceX reaching an insane flight rate. We're talking about launches every hour carrying 200 tons per flight, according to SpaceX's own press release. Currently, Starship is still in the frequent explosion phase of development. While the engineering team has achieved the incredible feat of catching a 70-meter booster with giant robot arms, the rocket is yet to perform a full orbital mission or prove that it can reliably deploy payloads without what SpaceX calls a rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Starship is still in the frequent explosion phase of development. Those are SpaceX's own words. And we're supposed to believe that they'll be launching every hour? Come on.
To round out the sci-fi sales pitch, Musk has even proposed building factories on the moon. I'm not making this up. According to the press release, the plan is to manufacture satellites taking advantage of lunar resources and then fire them into deep space using an electromagnetic mass driver, basically a giant space railgun, a technology that the US Navy spent over $500 million on over a 16-year period with no success. Apparently, the